That was strange. It felt bad. For a long time it made him wonder if he was lousy in the sack, but over time he realized that probably wasn't it. Judy had gone to college, and that was a different world than a war half a world away. Maybe the sex and the pot they'd smoked was some kind of close one door, open another thing, like he and Jim were doing with their last blast weekend before going to war. Maybe. He'd written to her, though. 4 letters with no replies before he got the idea that she wasn't ever going to write back. In some way, he supposed she was as dead to him as his folks and town. And Jim. Jesus, you're a gloomy fuck, too, he told himself. He turned away from Dark Hollow Road and the dead memories, disgusted with himself for thoughts like that. On the road, the traffic was still a no-show, so he drifted into the center of the 2-lane, liking the sound his heels made on the blacktop, a soft but solid tock, tock, tock. The echo of it bounced off the walls of trees that divided one farm from another. At the top of a hill he looked down a long sweep, and the beauty of his town nearly pulled more tears from him. The farms were not the geometrically perfect squares of some of the agricultural areas he'd seen. Some were angled this way, others turned that, with hedgerows and fences and rows of oaks to create borders. Cornfields swayed gently like waves on a slow ocean. Pumpkins dotted green fields with dots of orange. Autumn wheat blew like marsh grass in the soft breeze. High above, a crow cried out with a call that was so plaintive, so desperately sad that the smile bled away from Donnie's features. With the distortion of distance and wind, it sounded like the scream of a baby, or the banshee wail of a woman kneeling over the body of a dead child. Donnie had seen that image, heard that sound too many times, in Iraq, in Afghanistan. He touched his shirt over the scars, remembering pain, remembering all the dying that went on over there. But it went on here, too. While he was gone, his town died, too. Except for the one car that crossed the bridge, there hadn't been a single vehicle on the road. A tractor in a field hardly counted, and only 2 old sons of bitches at the Guthrie place. All of the other fields and the whole length of Route A32 were empty. It was Halloween. The road should have been packed with cars. Geez, had the trouble totally killed the town's tourism economy? That would seriously blow. Just about every family in town had their income either tied to farming stuff like Indian corn and pumpkins, or to attractions like the haunted hayride, the haunted house, the dead-end drive-in, and other seasonal things. Had the Halloween festival been revived? Could he have been wrong about the town starting to come back from the trouble? It was weird. Donnie felt suddenly scared. Where was everyone else? Had the town died for real? Had he come home, come all these miles, to a ghost town? High above the far row of mountains, he saw a white cloud float between him and the sun. Its vast purple shadow covered most of the horizon line, and as it sailed across the sky toward him, it dragged its dark shadow below, sweeping the land, brushing away details with a broom of darkness. The belly of the cloud thickened, turned bruised, and was suddenly veined with red lightning. A storm was coming. He hadn't noticed it building, but at the rate it was growing, it was going to catch him out here on the road. He suddenly wondered if that's what the old guy on the ladder was trying to say. Gonna be dark soon. He looked over his shoulder at the road he'd walked. It was a black ribbon fading out of sight as the shadows covered it. Up ahead was 8 miles of hills between him and a bar or a Motel 6. He chewed his lip as he debated his options. The breeze was stiffening and it was wet. It was going to rain hard and cold, and soon. Maybe he could go back and ask one of the guys at the Guthrie place for a ride into town, or a dry spot on a porch to wait it all out. He could have done that. Didn't. Instead, he let his gaze drift over to the thick wall of oaks and pines beyond the closest field. He could haul ass over there and stay dry under the thick canopy of leaves. Yeah, sure, you weren't supposed to stand under trees in a lightning storm, but you weren't supposed to stand out in a cold rain and catch pneumonia either. Thunder snarled at him to make up his mind. The first big raindrops splatted onto the blacktop. He cut and ran for the trees.